Welcome back to Gallagher's Grub. Today we are making short ribs on the Kamado Joe Texas style once again. Now the last time I made short ribs, they were cut into smaller pieces. These ones here, these are called plate ribs. They come in one big piece like this. So when you're at the butcher, ask for plate ribs and they'll come like this. They're also called dino ribs sometimes, or just plain old short ribs, but they come in one big piece like this. And they're not to be mistaken with back ribs. So a cow has back ribs like baby back ribs on a pig, but these are just much meatier, and these are the ones you want to go for. Today we're going to be firing these plate ribs up, Texas style, salt and pepper basically. They're going to take 5 or 6 hours. This is a big piece of meat, and yeah, I can't wait. These are going to be delicious, so stick around. So the first thing I'm going to do is take off some of this fat and the silver skin that's underneath it. This is hard fat, it's not going to render out very well. And I want the rub to really get onto the meat below this fat. What we're going to do next is add some Worcestershire sauce. Now I love Worcestershire sauce on beef, and this is going to be our binder that's going to hold on our rub. And for the rub, we're going to use some of this Killer Hogs Texas brisket rub, and we're going to go on with a nice thick coat of this stuff. This is basically just salt and pepper and a few other seasonings. No sweetness in this rub at all. And so now I'm going to go fire up the Kamado Joe because this meat is ready for the grill. Alright, we got our fire going here. I'm going to add a couple of pieces of pecan wood. Try to bury these a little bit. Put my glove on. We go on the lowest rack. This tin foil. We're going to add the grates to the top. Close the lid and get this up to temperature. And one last thing before we hit the grill, I wanted to show you that I added one of these ThermoPro TempSpikes into the thickest part of the meat. So we're going to get a nice accurate reading on the temperature of these ribs. Okay, you can see we are locked in here right around 250 degrees. We've got the top vent open to about the first notch. The bottom vent, maybe about a thumb's width. All right, we're about an hour in now, just over an hour. Give you a little quick spritz with some vinegar and water. Just close it up, keep on grilling. Another hour, another spritz. I'm fogging up my camera here. Alright, so for the first part of this cook, we're going to cook to 170. Here we are at 171. We're ready to wrap the ribs right now. I'm going to go ahead and place these into a foil pan. Give them a little spritz. Cover these. And so that steam that's in there, that's going to really help these tenderize up. I'm going to close this and cook it to about 203 to 205 degrees. Okay, so you can see now we are at 203, and this is just about where I want to be. So what I'm going to do right now is take a look. I don't have to burn myself here. Take a look to see how this is probing. Really, the more important thing is how well it probes. It's going right in. See how nice and easy that slips right in? So I'm saying these are just about done here. The next thing I'm going to do is cover them back up and then put them into a cooler. We're going to give these about an hour, maybe 2 hours in here. And then it's time to eat. Okay, so here we have our beef ribs. They're sitting in the cooler for about an hour and a half. Take them out of here. So much juice in the pan here. It is crazy. Anyway, there's a lot of juice in here. And first thing I'm going to do is take out the TempSpike. Now they might be called plate ribs, but you can see why they're nicknamed Dinosaur Ribs. Alright, so here we have our beef ribs. We'll cut into these and see how they look. Just gorgeous. Let's see if I can get that camera angle here. You can look at those. I mean, just look at these things. Look at how beautiful that is. It's got a nice smoke ring. You can see that ring here. That's where the smoke is penetrated into the meat. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a bite and see what I think. That's pretty good. Wow. You know, there's something to be said about Texas barbecue, the beef. You know, I do love some pork ribs. I love the ribs of Kansas City, baby back ribs, spare ribs. You know, the Carolinas, they have great pork barbecue as well. But when it comes to my favorite style of barbecue, I really love Texas barbecue. I love the beef, and man, it just tastes so good. Just salt and pepper really as a seasoning, and it's just perfect. That is delicious. Super tender, nice and juicy. Like, you wouldn't believe how much juice came out of these into the pan while it was sitting in the cooler. Anyway, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Let me know what you think in the comments down below of my cook here and of Texas barbecue in general versus, you know, cooking with pork. You know, beef versus pork. I prefer the beef, to be honest. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, keep on grilling.